Yo guys, welcome back to another YouTube live stream. It's me, mrjayowhy. Hope you're having a awesome day. How are we doing? How are we doing, guys? Welcome back. It's been a few days since I've streamed, and today we are doing something special. Cyan had some pretty big claims earlier in the week that he had discovered the secret of the Fortnite storyline. So in today's video, we're going to react to I finally solved Fortnite's biggest mysteries.
Turn it up.
So that's what we're going to do. So strap in, guys. Get some popcorn, get your drinks, get you some movies, get your whatever it is. We are reacting to apparent greatness. Bye. Hello Octane, how's it going? Mass Shadow, Jamie, start wishing dinner. Start. What? Oh, I don't care. Right, so guys, are you ready? Are you ready? We're going to be reacting to I finally solved Fortnite's biggest mysteries. Because he made some claims earlier in the week, and you know what? I just like to moan at Cyan, if I'm being honest. No, he makes great content. It's let's be real, he makes a pretty decent content. Oh, let's see how loud this is.
This video.
Very loud.
This is probably one of the most important Fortnite videos you have ever seen in your entire life. And yes, as the thumbnail and the title says, this is about the biggest mysteries in the history of Fortnite storyline, all of them being solved. Secrets that the
Cyan, you've all... Don't say the title in the video in case you need to change the title.
directly connecting to this very season and especially to Dr. Doom. This mystery has mattered from the first season of this game, Chapter 2, Chapter 3 and especially Chapter 4. And now the 5th one. Then also a mystery that will fully explain to us what the whole upcoming Chapter 6 is all about. Again, this is one of the most important Fortnite videos you have ever seen in your entire life. What I'm gonna talk about in this video will completely change your view on this game. Especially will show you how important Chapter 4 was. You probably have like no clue whatsoever what that chapter's story was even all about. So listen carefully, my students, as Professor Lore begins cooking. Geno and Dr. Doom, both of them have been some of the most important villains in the history of this game. Then also both are extremely similar characters. Both sides are super smart people. Then their main goal in life is creating perfection. Both of them stay in shadows while manipulating their enemies to destroy themselves. Both are beyond powerful with a crazy suit. Then magical powers, and both of them are egotistical people who think that only they know how to use a power right. Both are
This is prime Cyan, to be fair. When he's... You're British, right? Of course I'm British. What are you chatting about? This is... When Cyan's chatting like this is prime Cyan. I have no problem with him
kings
like
and rulers, as they have a full-on medieval knight art direction to their look too. Both of them also had a direct partnership working together, one which came up while Geno badly needed help for fighting against the Seven, and he chose Dr. Doom himself for help. But why? Because these two have been keeping contact with each other ever since the first time Doom came to Fortnite. And
let's hear it.
Geno likes him exactly because he feels how similar Doom is to himself as a person. But I have to say this before we keep going. If Geno likes Doom because he's a similar person to him, that means that Geno would also expect the way that Doom would act, or why he would even accept to join the organization. So then if so, why would Geno, someone who has a similar mindset to Doom, who would understand that Doom would never ever work for someone, why did Geno ask Doom to join them? Like, that is the dumbest thing ever. Causing Doom to get all of the information he needed.
Because they obviously, okay, unless he's going to make this point later on, they obviously needed each other to progress How is that not the most obvious conclusion? I'm so confused.
Out of the IO, getting powerful weapons or a magical cloak from the Ice King's collection, then using those same things to help the IO be destroyed by the 7, not go against the 7. Is Geno like genuinely that dumb to let this happen? Don't forget about what I just proved you.
It seems like he's alluding to it. Thank God.
Geno is basically Doom himself in many ways, and to me personally, he's even meant to be better than Doom and smarter. Then don't forget how
you would think a character that is the main villain would be better than the villain that they have in the collab. That's just...
in this very same comic and story, Geno lied to the Foundation about how he was dying. He lied and manipulated the Foundation to extreme levels, making us think that we're just done dealing with Geno. That right there is the part we should have focused on way more than we did. This entire thing and everything that happened was all Geno's plans. He can make a plan that crazy because just like Doom, Geno is supposed to be one of the...
Yeah, but no. No, hold on. That's I feel like you're very oversimplifying that sign. In terms of like oh my God, where is
on
this?
Booking.com, you can fly here, there.
Like, okay, hold on. Doesn't the Foundation literally go? Oh, 2 seconds. I don't know if the Foundation and the 7 thought they completely eliminated Doom. Sorry, Geno.
Smartest beings of all time. Cyan, are you dumb? Why would Geno plan for his IO to get destroyed? Fuck this, you're dumb. I'm gonna go watch T5G. Shut up! Geno was put in a really dangerous place. He was stuck between losing everything or temporarily losing everything. Let me fully explain this for you. The 7 completely messed up Reality Zero and broke many of the defense systems that Geno created. Systems which made sure that the last reality could never come to the island. The visitors rocket allowed a cube in here. Scientists brought another cube in. The end event allowed Galactus inside of Fortnite. The Foundation brought in the chromium to create the Spire. Then the same thing allowed Rust to get corrupted, causing an entire mothership to be teleported into here. Every single time the 7 just did anything, it ruined the defense system of the IO that kept the last reality outside the world. Then in Chapter 2 Season 8 it reached the point where Geno realized things have gone too far. The 7 have messed up the defense system he created so much to the point that there is no fixing it. So what did Geno choose to do? He accepted defeat against the Foundation. He basically created a trap, and the Foundation basically just like fell right into it. Geno knew that after everything that the 7...
Is this not already all perceived stuff that I have explained myself? Maybe over analysing this, but I'm pretty sure I brought up the same point several times. Also, that like they had to spin the island. There's a few things to look at it, because you have to remember one thing that Sloane did. Like this is my point. Sloane at Skyfire did what she did because she thought it was right, and without her doing what she did, which is what is one issue you wouldn't have had. You wouldn't have had a second chance, because the last reality was ready to go. The Q Queen was spawning multiple cubes, and the thing that basically what carried out in Chapter 2 Season 8 with the cube and the convergence was happening in the mothership at probably an accelerated rate, which then didn't happen because one, the explosion destroyed a few of them, and us being there created the blue cube, Without that cube, you don't have any of this.
There is
The
just
defense
no
would
way
have failed
stopping
far
the
quicker.
reality from taking over whatsoever. So he chose to put all of the blame on the 7 instead. Make them look like the villains and show himself as a hero. Show us how when he was in control everything was awesome, we were safe, nothing really was happening. But right when the 7 got control, everything got ruined. Geno simply wanted the 7 to fail against the last reality instead of him. So he kinda tried to act like the IO is getting destroyed, and also acted like he's dying and we're free from him. Even though we know that he for sure lied. Geno just did that to make it look real enough so nobody would doubt his plan. That nobody being exactly Doom. Dr. Doom plays a huge part in Geno's crazy smart plan. But to make one of the smartest people ever actually fall for your trap, you need to make it seem as real as possible. So that's why he allowed the IO to be destroyed and faked his death. Therefore he can outsmart the smartest Marvel character. But why so? Well, my students, let Professor Lore blow your mind up. Well, like this video before I do so. And if
Come
you
on,
want to
Cyan,
always
stop. We know all this.
be updated on the Fortnite leaks, Fortnite news, and always see my new videos, or the latest news on many other super popular games. All of the latest news on gaming always gets posted in my Discord server, link in the description. The community in that place is so lovely, you're gonna love it. Let's now talk about why exactly would Geno need Dr. Doom in his plans. First of all, so Doom keeps the weapons of the Ice King away from the 7 to put them in his huge castle instead, as these weapons would be greatly useful to Geno in the future. Geno is definitely gonna go get those weapons for himself, I'm sure of that. He just didn't want the 7 or the last reality to get them, which is exactly where Doom came into play. Now the most important reason, it's because as Doom said himself, he wants the IO to fall so he creates his own version of it. Don't you see why Geno would want this to happen? Geno's IO already failed because of the 7 ruining the protections against the last reality. Why would he stick with a failing faction when he could build a way better version of it? Or so, the Fortnite order restored. Doom right now is recreating the Imagine order but under his own image instead. There you go, that was Geno's plans right there. That's basically
Is that it? That's literally what I said, like.
the whole point of smart villains. You go through the path they want you to, but you just have no idea at all how brilliant their plans are. Doom will fail. He's not gonna be able to rule over a new Imagine order, and Geno has always been sure of it. Do you realize how
No. That's not what he thinks. He's saying that the plan. This was always the plan. So the Imagine Order Fallen was a ruse, a ruse. To a longer plan, because he was just getting hounded by the 7, and he didn't want that. So, look, when I read Zero War, I said the same thing. I thought this whole spill, what he's spilling, it is rather, it's too. What's it's almost like it's planned. It was like it was planned. It was like he rehearsed what he was saying. But he's not saying that Doom is Geno. No, he's not saying that at all. He's saying that Doom pretended to lose to have a better footing later on. Sorry, he's saying Geno lost to have a better footing later on.
how much Doom is helping Geno by creating a new Imagine order, rather than Geno returning having to take over the 0 point all over again, having to build defense and everything for the island all over again. Just so much work to make a new IO. Why would Geno ever do that, when you can just make someone else do all of the hard work for you, then steal their work and take ownership of it? You get it?
I don't feel like you can have a whole spiel about perfection and say that you want someone else to do it. That's a bit weird, Cyan, but I get what you're saying.
Now, Geno knew that his IO would fail, so he allowed it to do so, and then abused the person with extremely similar personalities to him to create his new Imagine order instead. But why did he choose Doom for all of this? Cause Dr. Doom would create an Imagine order exactly how Geno would too. These two people are like brothers mindset wise, which is exactly why I'm saying right now, Geno will for sure be the main villain of chapter 6. And Order Restored will be the new chapter coming up, and right when Doom falls to us and fails, which is failure.
That's a claim. That's a crazy claim.
would definitely also be by the manipulation of Geno.
The arc of the chapter would be ordered restored, not the name of
He
the
comes
chapter.
in and takes over the new IO Doom has created and evolve it into the final form. But of course, Geno's plans and manipulations would not just end by faking his death. There is just so much he needs to do for making sure that he can recreate a new IO better than the one before. That's even shown to us by how IO is within the Lego world right now, having their iconic bunkers there too. They are waiting in realities right near reality zero, just counting days for the right moment to teleport into this place. But the chapter which built up the story arc of Geno coming in chapter 6 is this one, yes. The chapter that like 99% of the Fortnite community have like absolutely no idea what happened in the storyline. What was it all about? The shapeless man? Who shapeless man? Me shapeless man? So my students, let Professor Lore exactly show you what you missed out on, because chapter 4 story, the things that were said, they were kinda cool. Do you remember the shapeless man? Yes, the coolest yet the most annoying part of the Fortnite story. This guy right here thinks that it's Geno, and then this guy used to think that's Geno, then he was like, nah, it's actually the nothing. Then this other guy also thinks that it's the nothing. Then we got this guy. He thinks that it's Kate of Thorns. Huh? What the The guy didn't even make it to the end of his own season. He just died by a bunch of like high schoolers. You suck! The answer to who the shapeless man is was always right in front of our eyes. We were just so focused on a random unimportant line which was,
He imagined a world of perfect order.
useless. That's a useless line because Doom, Geno, the Nothing, all of them technically want like a perfect order of their own versions.
Honestly, he's stolen my home. I've done my homework and he's come in and he's stolen it. I've been saying that for years. The lines are so generic to the point that there could be any character. Now it could be retcon that any of these guys could be it. Look, maybe not. Yeah. I feel like there were some instances where I believe they were trying, like they had a double-sided sword when they were like, it could be KO form because that's what the whole jungle POI was about, and the whole biome, the whole thing with a mural, which hinted towards what was coming. And chapter stories, even though they do have some crossover, are kind of compacted within them chapters. So most things are concluded to the point.
So it's like, all that line did was to smack Kato in the face even more, since he never was told to want like a perfect world or anything. Here is every single line you should have focused on that Stellan said, rather than he always imagined the world of perfect order.
Yeah, but then that doesn't... But what he's saying here, basically, is ignore that, but it can't be Kato because of that line.
He watches us with dark purpose.
Who is a person that has
Again, that's anyone's line. Anyone's line. He watches us with dirt purpose. Could be the Nothing. Could be Geno. Could be Doom. Because they all have chaotic evil or some evil tendencies and some purpose that would be considered dark.
a whole watching thing built around him in this season. A massive tower you can watch all of the people on the island from, cameras everywhere. This line brought upon him and even more. Dr. Doom. Who did I say that is extremely similar to Doom?
The Imagined Order watched us for thousands of years. Could be them. The Nothing has always been waiting. And when they came, they were intended their daughter. Like, honestly, next season there could be another villain. And the Megalodon was walking around somewhere. He watched us with dark purpose. He had dark intentions. It could be anyone.
Geno, yes. What would Geno be doing right now since he's in the shadows and not building the IO himself for the moment? He is watching us, waiting for us ourselves to make the new IO first.
If we do not finish the rift gate, the consequences will be terrible.
If you're building a rift gate for someone that
Okay, he's now... What's the word I'm looking... This line is... You can't... This line, he's just saying this and he's then... What's the word I'm looking for? None of this matters. This line doesn't matter. The rest of these guys say doesn't build up a case for either or any.
their whole point is to kill you, destroy you, turn you into pieces. Someone like the Nothing, like that kind of makes no sense. Why would the Nothing be like, good boy, you built me a rift gate, good boy, I'm not gonna kill you anymore. No, he would just beat the shit out of you as much as... Doesn't matter if you build him a rift gate or you don't, he kills you anyways. So why would the fate be terrible if we don't build the rift gate? Cause not building the gate means that the person waiting for it to be built so he can come through it, he just...
We don't know enough about the Nothing to assemble that.
just can't do that anymore. So if the person on the other side wants the Nothing, wouldn't that be a good thing that he can't come on the island? Because even if he comes like 1 second faster, that's 1 second less time to run away from the Nothing. This means that yes, the Shapeless Man himself is a bad person, but if we don't create his rift gate, if his plans don't go forward, an even worse fate than that guy would...
We literally had the Chrome on the island. We literally had a embodiment of the Nothing on the island, and their intention was something more than just, okay, they did destroy the island, but there was something else. That is that again. That is the word perpend. What's the word am I thinking? That doesn't mean anything.
That exactly
Cyan.
sound like Geno to you? Yeah, he's
He needs people to fact test his stuff before he yaps.
a bad person, but he always protected us from even worse things like the last reality.
I came to the Earthbound at the order of the Shapeless Man.
This line is so important. Why did everybody like mostly ignore it? Coming in the order of the ship.
No one ignored it. No one ignored it. Yes, Geno, order. What? Doom is on the horizon. It probably might be Geno. But the lines are meant, like, there's no issue. This is what he has to understand. There's no issue in theorizing that it's the Nothing. Everything he just says here is not enough for me to say, well, he's kind of yapping. He's kind of, again, he's narrow-minded to the fact that it could be this because of this. And I'm still arguing, well, no, it could be that because of this. Literally, the Nothing was given orders to Bytes and giving him a list of things to do. That's more.
Plus, man, is that Stellan was never really part of this world. He is new to this place like us. This Shapeless being directly orders Stellan to come to Ageless. So even doing that was not this guy's own choice, which makes so much more sense, especially after this line.
When I was young, the Shapeless Man came to me, and dreams took me in as his own.
Stellan was just a child when the Shapeless Man met him for the first time and made connections with him in his dreams. Then not just that, it said that the Shapeless Man legit took Stellan as his own. That means that this person does not see Stellan as a random person, someone to just manipulate or an enemy, but rather the Shapeless Man sees Stellan as a friend, as maybe even a kid of his own. The Shapeless Man wants Stellan to grow stronger and someone who would be a great value to him. Explain to me how this part makes sense with the Nothing or Dr. Doom.
Someone in chat simply say one word beginning with B, or one of the mods is actually called that person as well, or maybe someone with a crown. I don't know. The Bytes, the Herald, the Cube Queen. Is it? Oh, let me just.
A kid of his own. The Shapeless Man wants Stellan to grow stronger and someone who would be a great value to him. Explain to me how this part makes sense with the Nothing or Dr. Doom. On Doom's side,
I mean, it could be Doom. The Nothing, I kind of give you that. Doom? He took Valeria. And oh my god, okay, whatever.
there is just no way that he met Stellan as a kid, and that they knew each other for Stellan's whole life. The entire Doom.
Why can't that be retconned to the point that they met in a different reality, adjacent, and at some point, we don't know how many years have passed since chapter 2, like, How can
Completing
you
us
say
thing
that?
happened ever since Chapter 3 Season 2, not ever since Stellan was a kid. He's also
We don't know what's happening off universe. We don't know how time works. That could easily be it. Oh.
centuries older than Doctor Doom, which is shown off even more with this
That
line.
means
I did not
nothing.
dream of him for centuries. Your refined kinetic
Again,
orb
that's-
turned him to me.
Stellan is centuries old. He's a very powerful being, someone who can see the stars with his own eyes and read them. He is, as the name says, a Reef Warden, and the Shapeless Man probably sensed the powerful nature inside of Stellan and because of that took him as his own. When Stellan was a kid, Geno basically adopted him, which kinda makes it ironic because Geno Snapshot DHS also took in Stellan as his own. Coincidence? Nah. As the line said, our refined kinetic core caused the Shapeless Man to manipulate Stellan after centuries. The kinetic core has kind of like a galaxy look to it. Then Stellan sees galaxies and stars with his powers, and the kinetic core is exactly what allowed the creation of the Rift Gate. Maybe the magic of that material is the same magic that exists within Stellan, allowing him to have the powers which he has and that creating the direct connection. But now who is the person which centuries ago discovered the kinetic core, creating his own suit out of the kinetic core and many other weapons out of it, vehicles or devices to control the 0 point.
Sorry,
Stellan was
whoa. He's gonna have to go. He's gonna have to go back on that because what's the association here? What he's trying to say?
the powerful nature inside of Stellan and because of that took him as his own. When Stellan was a kid, Geno basically adopted him, which kinda makes it ironic because Geno Snapshot DHS also took in Stellan as his own. Coincidence? Nah. As the line said, our refined kinetic core caused the Shapeless Man to manipulate Stellan after centuries. The kinetic core has kind of like a galaxy
You mean the refined kinetic ore that came from Paradigm? Your refined kinetic ore.
look to it. Then Stellan sees galaxies and stars with his powers, and the kinetic core is exactly what allowed the creation of the Rift Gate. Maybe the magic of that material is the same magic that exists within Stellan, allowing him to have the powers which he has and that creating the direct connection. But now who is the person which saying
I don't. What? Sorry, chat. Why did he bring up the kinetic ore? Is in relation to him trying to do this bit? Does anyone know? I've got. Ow! I kind of lost my way.
centuries ago discovered the kinetic core, creating his own suit out of the kinetic core and many other weapons out of it, vehicles or devices to control the 0 point. Stellan was manipulated as a kid by the Shapeless Man, because that might have been exactly when Geno discovered the kinetic core, connecting to that material or building a suit out of it, causing Geno to see the imagination of a perfectly ordered world, and specially directly connect with Stellan. So now that once more the energy of the refined kinetic core was activated in chapter 4, thanks to the snapshot of Geno himself as well. Stellan
No, that's not. It was Paradigm. It was Paradigm. Paradigm gave the refined kinetic ore to Stellan. I've brought this up several times. No one seems to take any notice of me. Paradigm gave the refined kinetic ore. What did Paradigm know? Paradigm was traveling different realities before the events of Chapter 4 end event. What does she know? What is she doing? How does she come into the plan? Does she actually get the... You could argue that refined kinetic ore eventually somehow got from Aegis and that's how... somehow... But then why wouldn't Stellan already have had it? So that didn't come from there. So how does Paradigm work into it? Paradigm and Geno sisters? I don't know. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that.
can once more feel and speak with this man which he met as a kid. Why would Geno, the main owner of the kinetic core and the man who built so much technology out of it, why would he not be able to use the refined kinetic core on the island and the devices he has created in the past to directly connect with Stellan again?
Each night I dream of stars, swallowed in darkness, and the shapeless man waiting.
Dreaming of stars swallowed in darkness, of course, is the last reality destroying realities. And when Stellan talks about stars, I'm pretty sure he means realities. He's looking at realities being destroyed. And in chapter 4,
Is he just stating what we know?
the last reality was going rampage, destroying so many realities before coming to the island in the last season. But then after that, Stellan said the Shapeless Man waiting. There you go, that right there. The Shapeless Man is showing these things to Stellan because of a very important reason. Why would Stellan build a rift gate for someone that is like, "Ooh, I'm bad, I will smack you if you don't listen to me"? Okay then, if you're a bad man, then why would I build you a rift gate for someone? The rift gate would make you come to me faster. Why would I build the rift gate? Why? I don't know actually, that's a good point. But now think of it as if Stellan did it in this way instead. I'm a bad man, build me a rift gate.
Well, that could be the same way the other way.
Because if you don't do that, another bad man will come to you. Hey, Stellan, would you rather build me a rift gate so I can stop that guy, or deal with it yourself? Do whatever the hell you wanna do to stop the last reality. Oh damn, I guess I have no other choice but to create this rift gate then. See, when you hear Fortnite voice lines or when you go through the Fortnite story, you gotta get this brain and go, whoa, you gotta think outside the box. The Shapeless Man is showing Stellan of our doomed future. Well then, how does he know of the future event? The answer to that comes from the Zero War comics, where the High Evolutionary saw the future by connecting with the piece of the 0 point. Geno had the 0 point under his control for thousands of years. Of course he would see what the High Evolutionary would see too. That seen future being the end, also the victory of the last reality and all of the universes being destroyed except one. The future seeing thanks to the 0 point is the very reason that Geno has put his entire life into protecting us, as he has said himself. This guy is trying his best to stop the end of all realities, the vision that the 0
I'm not arguing this point.
showed him. The perfection side of things is the only part that makes him kind of like a villain at the same time too, and how he would do anything to reach his goals just like Doom, no matter if the thing he is doing is morally good or not. But at least he has genuinely been protecting us for years now, and that's exactly why Stellan builds the gate. He knows that Geno can save us, also the Shapeless Man, but also he knows Geno is still a bad person. That being exactly why it was really hard for him to go through this plan. So as said, the Shapeless Man has shown a genuine reason.
Well, there's one slight issue. Chapter 4, it didn't end well either way, did it? So, for me, that's still suggesting that it might be nothing, because eventually it still led to that. So, I don't know. But I also said it's not. There is an easier, and because I've always believed that it could be a possibility of all of them, and there's a much more easier, an easier avenue. He could have done this video in 2 minutes.
The gate, while he's just waiting for that to happen. This line proves that even more.
I do not wish for us to succeed, but we will all suffer if we fail.
I do not wish for us to succeed because Stellan knows that Geno is a villain, but we all suffer if we fail because the last reality would come instead of Geno. An even worse group of people, which they actually did come. The Shapeless Man was not wrong. When the Rift Gate failed, we got last reality people on the island instead. But now to end these voice lines off.
The rift is growing. I sleep without dreams. The Shapeless Man thinks he has won.
Doesn't that sound like something that Dr. Doom would say when something goes wrong, like his mother hated him after she got saved from Mephisto? Doom still said even his mother hated him was part of the plan. And again, Geno and Doom are extremely similar characters. Geno would do such a thing too, just like he did as the Shapeless Man here. And him being a Shapeless Man seems to be a power he has gained through the 0 point. Seems like Geno can become shapeless, and he took the same form when manipulating Stellan's dreams. We have been teased of Geno having inhuman weird powers that can change his body. The teaser was in the Zero War comics when Wolverine had a hard time understanding Geno and saw him as many people, not just one. I doubt Geno would not be able to gain shapeless powers through experimenting on the 0 point. Of course he could do that. The 0 point is legit the god of this game. But not only Geno seems to have crazy powers, Stellan too. When the Rift Gate fell, Stellan grabbed some information that he could gather in the gate from the Shapeless Man itself.
This data is...
Oh my god.
Perhaps the forbidden works of our exiled sages. They might have the answers we seek. This text prophesies a beautiful monster enabled by the hubris of a champion.
Hubris means self-confidence. Or the most
It also means someone who... Oh, it's not that... It means someone's set so thingy that they will always fail. He's... what did you call it? He's kind of missing a key point to the word hubris. You don't use hubris for someone who is pride and confidence. You use hubris as someone who will eventually lead to what do you call it? A tragedy. That's where the word comes from. It comes from a story that involves tragedy. Someone who has to be. That hubris is a flaw, and he's just spent the last 19 minutes talking about Geno not being flawed. Hubris would infer that Geno is flawed.
Confident people to ever exist in fiction. One of those is Doom, who thinks that there is no one as smart as him. Then the other is Geno, who also thinks the same thing. And not just hubris, but also a champion. You really think that Aegis was called the champion for no reason? These are all carefully put together pieces of puzzles, just put here, 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 and you gotta find all of them, put the pieces together, and voila, you have solved the puzzle. And so the self-confident champion is Geno himself. Then the monster part, the beautiful monster that was enabled by Geno, has to be Stellan himself. The enabling probably happened when he was a child, because as said, he met Geno centuries ago. And the enabling will happen again now that Geno is speaking to him once more. Now, how do we know that it's definitely Stellan? Lexa thankfully proved that by saying that the sages were right about Stellan. Probably talking about how the sages called the Stellan a beautiful monster. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gay, but looking at this man, he looks hotter than girls. A monster which Geno apparently sometimes
How old is Simon?
uses or enables for his goals. Maybe the first time Stellan was turned into a monster which could look like this design, which would be amazing. Maybe the first time Stellan was turned into a monster was for the creation of the IO and Geno needed him. And now that the original
Oh, here we go.
IO is gone, Geno needs Stellan to become a monster once again so they can together create a new IO yet again. What if I tell you that the monster you see in Dr. Stone's loading screen, that's Stellan right there. And that's directly why Dr. Stone told this to him. She knows what Stellan truly is, even if he doesn't. Dr. Stone is the closest person to Geno that we know of. Geno probably showed her how the IO was even created. And the beautiful monster seen here is exactly how. Thanks to Stellan, this dream became possible. And Dr. Stone telling Stellan, even if you don't know, that's because the Rift Warden has lost a huge amount of his memories. He doesn't know his actual name, he doesn't know if he even has a family. Stellan has almost no memories. The only ones he has are merely the ones as a kid, before the shapeless man found and adopted him somewhat. Then right from that moment he remembers nothing else after it, because when Stellan evolved into his monster form, the monster is kind of like how Hulk works in the Marvel movies. The human doesn't know what Hulk does, so Stellan also doesn't know what his monster version is doing. This means that hopefully, if I'm right, chapter 6 is all about the order restored. Geno will force Stellan to become a monster again, and we will get to watch the process of how Geno creates an IO, the things that are needed to be done for such a thing, and how exactly Geno managed to protect us from the last reality for so many years.
Sorry, is he presuming that we're just going to form another Imagine Order? Successfully, is that what he's presuming here?
Maybe Stellan is exactly how he got access to the Chromium event, since if you didn't know, the Spire Assassins were Imagine Order workers. So that was the full story of the Shapeless Man and Stellan in Season 1. But now you see how important Geno has been ever since Chapter 4. But he also played a big part in Season 3 coming after it too. The Riftgate failed and it allowed Last Reality being seen instead. And that caused the Last Reality to reveal a secret jungle under us. Doing that because they needed to attract Kado Thorns in, because he has a bunch bunch of stolen artifacts that the last reality needs. One of those artifacts was something from the destroyed home of Nox and Aurora. Maybe Kado Form stole the very heart of the realm this to come from. So the thing which Kado stole caused, as said, Nox's world to be taken over by darkness. And that whole which Kado stole caused, as said, Nox's world to be taken over by darkness. And that whole realm being destroyed. So Nox needed Kado here to take back the heart of his realm and use that to reboot his realm once again. That's why I believe the last reality revealed the jungle, and why
Oh no, that completely fails the whole Dr. Sloan. How is he gonna think he Dr. Sloan in that? I'm trying to look through my all-seeing eye here, and how is he going to now reference Dr. Sloan? Because I can tell you why I think it could be Geno, because it does like it's so much easier, and it's because of the reveal of the actual wild thing that leads him to the next stage of his plan. Because it's from there we get to this point now. Without getting exposed, Sloan doesn't get the time machine. We don't be here, and if he's claiming a domino effect, I'm interested to see how
everything within chapter 4. Hopefully because of this, one day we get to actually see this realm, go through it, see Nox, see like Aurora. That would be amazing. Maybe that realm is where we are right now, I'm not sure, but I do hope we get answers on that. But I do finally have answers on who the third Triarch was. I just said that Stellan should be a powerful monster which Geno took away, one who doesn't remember his past. Now mix that up with how Tater brought up to me the design of Stellan being extremely similar to Nox and Aurora, all of them being.
He just missed my whole conversation. I was part of that conversation. Wait, what was I? Hold on. I need to go and see now because I was part of that conversation. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Where are we? Where we at? Where we at? Where we at? Where we at? What was it? Was this? Oh, where is it? I now can't find it. That's a bit rubbish. Where is it? Oh, wait a minute. I can just search the...
brought up to me the design of Stellan being.
I just So I think this semi-stemmed from me talking about Polis as a possibility to be the next Triarch in terms of something else. And then I went, well, I'm only saying a possibility. There is more likelier candidates. And then something. So I can't quite remember what happened but after that. God, where are we? Where are we? Because it's missing some context, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Oh, was it later than that? Oh, okay, I can't find it. That's annoying. Oh, wait a minute. Because he was trying to claim that the third Triarch died. And that was 2 weeks ago. So he's trying to claim that the third Triarch died. So... Oh, actually, he did say this. So I jokingly said, because I kind of said, so when he talks about the true form of Stellan, he actually said that on Twitter. I said jokingly, what have you been saying to Cyan, Tater? Because sometimes Tater says something to Cyan, and Cyan goes, whoop, and twisted it completely. Nothing. He's going crazy about. I thought you may have mentioned something quite believable before Cyan completely ran with it. And then he goes, okay, time for Cyan to butcher this. And then he goes, third Triarch is dead, seems like. How did he butcher that this quick? I said, Aura said only he and Nox survived the death of their realm, means no one else, so third person died together with the realm. And then Tate goes, never mind, that's just straight up false. And I went, yeah, I was about to say that, unless there's another line. There is, but the previous one with context means that he's just chatting rubbish. So what
extremely similar
doing?
to Nox and Aurora, all of them being super thin and skinny looking too. And Aurora
fat shaming
told us
crazy
that the
cancer in
Triarch
chat.
just vanished, which could have also played a part in this world's downfall. Maybe the third Triarch vanished because Geno sensed him and stole him. And pretty much, yeah, it seems like we have learned of these Triarch rulers because they are directly connected to Stellan. But then something else also happened once the jungle got revealed. Dr. Stone, one of Geno's closest workers, got saved by Relic, and someone left a map in the jungle for her to find. For a long time I said that someone has to be the Shapeless Man, because the map is what caused Dr. Stone to explore the jungle. It's what caused her to discover the last
The problem is, Cyan at the moment is saying that the Riftgate didn't intend this to happen. That the mega city collapsed. What was it? So Riftgate opened season 1. Mega came through, which destabilized the ground, revealing riots. That was the intention. If Geno was the Shapeless Man, which I said 2 years ago.
flying right toward
This is why I don't do the storyline anymore. This is why I don't do storyline content anymore, chat.
us, and our doom coming, the death of us.
There is grave danger on the horizon. The power that once flowed through your island has faded, and formidable enemies have taken notice.
That is also what made Stone figure out a plan for saving all of us. Time traveling to extract all of us into where the people of the jungle escaped in 2 years ago. A world which is directly the answer to what this whole chapter 5 world we are in right now all about. Do you see how the Imagine Order logo has 6 different...
Yeah, in the current time, like in the current. Immortal Snow is here. I can now get across rather than trying to write down what I meant earlier. So, Jonesy went back in time. He then went back in time and then brought the Durburger back. He then went back in time and then brought the cup back. He then went back in time and then brought the something else back. And Sloan went, this could work. It seems like taking things out of timeline doesn't really affect it. Okay, travel back and you need to extract something. Or you need to bring something at least with a bit of kick to start off something. So, can you dab? I think I dabbed in my when I did the bye-bye emote on the short I did. So, okay, plan. Rocket takes off. Actually, how do you get... And then he comes through with the comet. He beams through. Once he beams through, he has enough residual energy to come back and smash the 0 point in. Because the 0 point was decaying. It was dying. It needed to restart. It needed a kick. It needed a charge. And the charge came from that same event, which then kicked us into this new realm. Meaning, Chapter 2, Chapter 3, Chapter 4 takes place after Chapter 5. His most logical conclusion, and rather saying, well, Chapter 1, actually, we only had 3 days after the event, and somehow... Then, I will think from that, if they brought enough energy back from that residual energy left over during the black hole event, I reckon the matter would have reorganised to form a Chapter 2 map in this current timeline. And then we don't have to travel back in time ever again, because it's annoying. Simple's easy, constructive narrative. Can't
Small
be any more
icons
wrong than
on
that.
it. To me, one of these is representing Reality Zero, so being exactly why everybody on the map wore that one. The other 5 represent people of 5 other realities.
Wait, there's 6 realities! He's added a reality! Sorry, I'm just...
Yeah, I know that some of you like don't believe the 5 realities.
He's added a reality! What is
and
doing?
things like
He's
that,
saying
but
6!
how dare you?
Cooking with fire.
What is he talking about? 5 realities? He's just added one. So he's got reality 0, reality 1, reality 2, reality 3. Okay, he does say 5 realities came through to build. Okay, you know what? I take that back. On his.
You hate on the 5 realities. I will beat. To me, the 5 realities are 100% a fact. The 5 realities are Mega, Jungle, the All-Found, Frozen, and Greek. 4 of those we saw a chunk of them in chapter 4, but one of them.
Stop. I know it's Greek themed, but stop saying it. Oh my goodness! It is Fortnite lore. It's like watching Percy Jackson and then keep saying, which I know it's a Greek. It's very Greek orientated, but in the sense that it's still law of this world, so you should refer to them as gods rather than Greek gods, because when people say that, I feel like it encourages separation between the story of myths and mortals and everything else. When these gods are sentient, not sentient, are older beings of the Fortnite Armyverse. Now they're not. This is not a collab. How people talk about the Greek season, they talk about it like it's a collab season. When there's no copyright on these characters because they're thousands and thousands of years old.
Never came. Yet KDL 4s had a place only with collections from the 5 realities and nowhere else. We got the jungle.
I mean, you're saying something with just...
All-Found, Frozen, and nothing from Mega, because Mega is the
I get what he's saying here, but he's kind of seeing what he wants to see here.
reality he was born within. Kado wouldn't really steal from his own home. Yet all of the things and the collections I just showed you are things that were on the chapter 4 map. They were not from anywhere else. But in the middle of all of those, one of the collections was nowhere
That was from the chapter... What is he chatting about? Unless he's referring to
to be
something else.
found on the map. The 5th collection is a shield icon of a reality that the location of it was rifted into chapter 2 season 5. A Roman Empire themed place that I told everyone from day 1. That
Yes, but that doesn't correlate support for your 5 realities theory. That just supports another reality. Please, Cyan, just dumb it down a bit. Your theories would be good, but you have to push it. I feel like he needs like someone just go, no, just bring it back a little bit. Try and keep it, like, to be fair, as we joking about this video, he has some really, really good founded arguments, but sometimes I feel like, God, you do push it over a line, don't you, Cyan?
is exactly where the Greek reality comes from too. I said from the day 1 that there will be a Greek
Because one of them went to one place and went, I kind of like what they're doing here with the gods. Let's run with it.
season coming up, and it's from the same reality as this one. And how my
Which I told him.
or Oro, all of those people are from the Greek realities too. How they will probably be part of the Greek season coming up to complete the
I see. Just okay. He's using
5
a clip.
chunks of the 5 realities. Well, again, the collections that Kado was putting into this place, all of them were from the chapter 4 map. But this one, only this one is not from chapter 4. It's basically it is what I was saying to be true. Then fast forward.
That doesn't make your 5 realities true. That just makes up Fortnite. I remember back many moons ago, I was on a podcast with Clark, Cyan, Restro, and when they were talking about the Spire and how it got there, and I remember saying that the 0 point and how it works can bring other realities in. Cyan argued so much against it. Actually, he might be for it. There was one person there, but I don't think it was Cyan. I was saying, you see the desert biome, you see the chapter when they brought in similar. I don't know what the argument is, because I got to remember that chapter 4 didn't happen, so you didn't see realities being brought in. I don't know if it was before that or after. Actually, it might have been that. So I was saying, well, this has just happened before when they like look at the chapter 1 makeup That's how they bring things in, you know, during Season X. He was one who didn't complete.
Forward to chapter 5 starting, the same shield is still with us. And now fast forward to the Greek season. The Emperor Peely of Colossal is shown to be part of the Greek world. He is even drawn on some of the walls or there are statues of him. The shield designs have a really similar look to these, or just many other props from chapter 2 season 5 placed right here, like this book which speaks of Pandora's box, meaning that Geno also shield designs have a really similar look to these, or just many other props from chapter 2 season 5 placed right here, like this book which speaks of Pandora's box, meaning that Geno also always knew of not only this Greek reality but also Pandora's box itself, because if you remember, Colossal was fully under control of Io with their logos all over it. Same thing with the jungle as well. Then we got a jungle in chapter 4 and then Greek world came in chapter 5. Here is something that I have just figured out. Those 6 logos again. One of them shows the Io workers in the loop, especially Dr. Stone. One shows Geno and his oath-bound reality. The third one shows the frozen reality and someone from them that works for the IO. Fourth shows the jungle and someone that works for IO. Then finally fifth showing the Greek reality and someone who works for the IO, which directly comes from the Greek world. Midas! Yes, that someone is Midas. Remember when Io said the inner circle? To me personally, the inner circle is one leader from each of these 6 realities. So this should finally show you why Paradigm exactly chose these chunks of the worlds to be brought for creating chapter 4. Or why the Shapeless Man got happy of the mega reality coming from this crack. It's because Paradigm was trying to save us with the origin of the Imagine Order. Exactly what Dono Mustard himself tweeted about. We were watching the early days of Io. These early days are people of the 5 realities coming together, and by lead of Geno they create the Imagine Order, and that's exactly why they're the most important realities out of any other. Maybe the female beside the frozen,
But it doesn't thingy the 5 realities again. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything. Because you would have to argue, which I did. I didn't say the 5 realities. I never said the 5 realities, but I said the makeup of the iron is important. Where they grab these people from, and where they grab the land masses from when we have these things. How does it reorganize this, that, and the other? So what he said, see, he needs to try and explain, or but he's not, because the 5 realities in his concept just isn't the case.
reality is even the mother of Imagine and Order, the person, the leader from the frozen reality that joined the inner circle, making Geno marry her and the Imagine and Order being born from it. Then maybe what Geno did to Imagine and Order, which was throwing them out and wiping out their memories, that could have caused Geno's wife to divorce him and leave him, and so she joined with the 7 instead, aka the she that Foundation brought up here, that she could be Geno's wife, this statue. That also would completely explain why the Foundation right here asked about the sisters, if that she which he talked about is the mother. So you finally see how important chapter 4 was. Yeah, it was kind of hard to figure out, it was a little bit messy because of the metaverse, but still
It just wasn't, though, was it? How are you also saying? Okay, it just wasn't, mate. It just wasn't.
the things that were told to us, they were actually planned, there were things behind it, and they do matter. And yeah, it's gonna be hard for us to figure out what the story even was about, but when you start to figure out chapter 4's story, it's actually kinda cool. And I'm telling you, we're still following through the same story from chapter 4. Kado teasing the Greek reality, and the Greek reality,
I swear he forgets some of the stuff he says, Cyan, because he was so thing about, like, we're in adjacent chapter 2 and the other we're adjacent.
actually
what was he
happening,
saying?
while Midas, the person from the Greek world which was in Io's inner circle, returning too. Or Jones referencing the 7 in this chapter, the ones that were chromed teleported into the mothership and they're still being corrupted by the nothing. Or just so much talks about the history of chapter 4. If all of this and how the Marvel season or Doom is directly the continuation of the Zero War comics, the same comics that fully explain Geno in them, if none of this prove you that chapter 4's story still matters, chapter 3, chapter 2, all of the past story, I don't know what does anymore. And why?
My Spotify in 3 words.
Wasn't he
is
what?
all
Oh, I
over
don't know.
the
I don't know.
place. That's 4 words.
Why? The Zero War comic story being continued right now means that Geno will be a big important villain in chapter 6, and that chapter will be Order Restored, so recreating Geno's imagined order, which I said that Geno or the Shapeless Man put this map for Stone to find it.
No, the time machine did not reset everything. The time machine was used to bring back some matter to reset the 0 point that was decaying in chapter 4. It's because it makes no sense with how Sloan and the Wild, and then also the chapter 4 season 4, where Taylor Thorne, the whole time machine thing. So Sloan grabbed the time machine along with the gang that grabbed the time machine. Jones travelled back to chapter OG, brought things back like the Durr Burger, travelled back and then brought back the cup of tea on Dusty Divot, and then so that proved theory. That proved that it was capable of bringing stuff back without affecting time, and that was the point. Why in the event the time machine was strapped on? It wasn't to extract the time machine. There to extract. Well, you had to extract the time machine because that's time traveling. But you time traveled with the energy back to chapter 4, which then also caused a black hole event in chapter 4, resetting things and restoring the decaying 0 point that was on its last legs. And then we come back because the story is still relevant that happened before. We are not in a different timeline. The timeline, the story did not reset.
Why? If the 5 realities are what I just said them to be, then someone from that jungle works for Geno and in the inner circle, so that making Geno know everything about that reality. So basically he knew how the people of that reality survive running away from the enemies. He tried to show the same thing to Sloan with this device to make her save all of us, probably telling Stellan in his dreams to
Which doesn't happen without the...
put that device there for Sloan to find it. And through that, Geno showed Dr. Stone how time travel is our answer, and he directly caused us to survive. Because even if you check here, Dr. Stone has said that her intentions for saving us
Problem is, there's so many points that he's making that it's contradictory. Like, he needs someone to just go through his stuff before he posts it.
are not pure but noble. It's the same thing as Geno. He wants to save us, but his intentions for saving us are not pure. Creating a perfect order is not a good thing. Now if the same thing is said about Dr. Stone here too, showing how she's still not really a good person, what if that's exactly our answer to why she's just suddenly gone in this chapter? Nowhere to be found. What if she genuinely wants the IO recreated like Geno?
But you can't ignore the fact that oh no, he is probably going to use the fact that she also said, you don't know what me you're going to run into. So,
oh, and that's where the not pure intentions come from. That's being exactly why Optimus Prime said that he doesn't know if we can fully trust her, but we had no other choice. She even right now, right at this moment, might be on the side of Geno again, taking over Dr. Doom's perfect society once it's ready. And that exactly being why we don't see her yet, cause Dr. Stone and Geno are waiting, but we will see them in chapter 6 together once more, beginning Order Restored. And that right there being what chapter 6 is gonna be all about. Why Geno is gonna be the main villain. It might be because Midas is planning to make his device actually work this time and truly break the loop, so we can all go home to Fortnite open world. Then I believe once Midas does that, he also goes to his homeworld too, since Midas' story from chapter 6 will be told instead in open world. Loop breaking means that Battle Royale cannot exist anymore. That means that yes, the story of VR would be finished, no more. Which that's kinda also another reason why I said that the Shapeless Man or Geno will be coming in chapter 6. If the loop breaks, it needs to be recreated and restored. So Stellan the monster probably will be a great help to restore the loop. And Order Restored would mean the loop being restored as well. That also being why the Loop Breaker project was brought up in chapter 3 season 4.
Ask Jones about the Loop Breaker project. He thinks it's confidential. It's not.
Yeah, because he keeps telling everyone about it. Why don't you extract everything he knows before he figures out what top secret means?
Because this Order Restored storyline was meant to happen at the ending of chapter 3 itself, but it was
that would make no sense, because then it would reveal everything to where we are now, and the storyline would have been done in chapter 4. That makes no sense.
too late, making Fortnite do the whole chapter 4 story thing. So I believe that finally the Loop Breaker project will happen in OG2 by my day.
Again, if the Loop Breaker project is what he says it is, which I think is the case, because I would argue paradigm, the refined kinetic ore that she had and that gave to Stella would somewhat actually indicate that, which I don't know why he doesn't now bring that up.
Yes, and the loop and the order will be restored right away when chapter 6 starts. As just like Mustard says, we're watching the early days of IO, how exactly it got
chapter 2 OG is 3 seasons.
Created, and how the inner circle was created by one person per 5 realities. Then the 6%, the 6th leader being the person inside.
Sorry, so what?
1% of IO, how exactly it got created. The 6th leader being the person inside of the loop. That's even the whole reason why they made Ageless a thing. The Ageless is helping us slowly see how Geno himself became a thing. Geno's past is somewhat being shown off to us by the Ageless. So when he arrives, we get to understand him as a character better. Like this video if you're brave, but kaboom, bam, kaboom, by everything that Professor Lord just explained to you, all of it. And before Geno comes back, click on this video.
It's an alright video. It's one of his better ones. I'm not saying that all his videos are good, but I mean in terms of him explaining it, because sometimes he does go on a tangent, and he actually gets that pretty well, to be fair to him. Exactly how we get a device event remix. Season 2. Chapter 3 is 3 seasons, not season 3. It's 3 seasons. But I'm starting to think that I don't think this won't be a past version of Chapter 3 now. Sorry, Chapter 2. Just because I said Season 3 like 4 times there. Look. The Shapeless Man can be anyone. Oh no, I do theorise it to be Geno. As well as possibly Nothing. So, the Riftgate, to how he says it, doesn't allude that it could still break, and that was what is actually intended to happen. Because without that breaking, and without Mega being dragged into, because that was KO's home, that's what Sion wants to say here. If he wants to say that, he can say that. But if without that, as we know by not the Herald, who's the other skin that looks like who's we theorise is like from that similar place, said about Mega City causing ripples that cracked the underneath and exposed wilds. You also have to say I can't believe he slightly brought up the whole paradigm thing and didn't dive deeper, because without paradigm gave that refined kinetic ore. And then he goes to talk about paradigm in terms of bringing them realities here, and he only mentioned it for 20 seconds. I'm like, and that's like the biggest thing, no? Maybe I'm cooked. But for me, paradigm was off-world in Chapter 3. Where was she? Who was she speaking to? And what was happening? How did she know about the refined kinetic ore? And then he mentions the Loop Breaker project and fails to then take from that. In my opinion, if the Shapeless Man is Geno, which I haven't re-picked. My favourite is Nothing for the reason of how the Riftgate works. But that could be either or, because it was always going to fail whoever it was. It doesn't really matter. So, so where do you want to start here? Chapter 2, Chapter 3. Chapter 3, the Chrome comes. The Chrome is here. The Chrome takes the 7. Oh no. Paradigm flies away, hits the 0 point, and travels to reality 659. We don't know what that reality is, and there's no indication what that reality is, a home reality. Never re-indicated that. Is it one of the realities that was brought in? Who knows? Possibly. But obviously, Donald Mustard gave 5 different realities. What was it? 659, reality 16, 658 or something. There's a few, and that was toggled off. Which I think there was 6, Cyan. So, when she's off-world, is she going to these different realities and getting information and came across the refined kinetic ore, which she embedded in in the island when she was doing fusion, forming the island. And that refined kinetic ore was so helpful. But in relation to what happened at the end of chapter 4, I think a couple of things. So if we presume, like Cyan presumes here, that the 7 was taken by the Chrome, and the Chrome transported him to the island. Who was it? Was it AJ? Someone on Twitter called AJ. I think someone else that actually brought up in chat a long time ago, and I went, "Oh, that's not a bad idea." Is that if the Chrome took the 7, did the Chrome take the island? So the island didn't actually get destroyed; it just got taken. Who knows? But we're going through 3 islands. That doesn't really matter. But it's a good thing. It's a good thing to just theorize. But anyway, we start off with the end event fracture. Paradigm lodges the refined kinetic ore in between colliding land masses, and then Amy knows about it, and then gives it to the Riftward and Stellan. Why? Why? Is it because she found someone off-world who is manipulating her, or is she doing the manipulation? Does she know that Stellan will make a rift gate, open it to the last reality, and that is what the last reality also is intended to happen? So the rift gate is doing multiple things, not just Geno, or if it's doing multiple things. So that's why it can still be the Shapers Man. That's where it doesn't matter, because they're all working in tandem to get that rift gate open for different things. That's what I think. So it doesn't really matter who closed it, who broke it. It's still the same thing would happen, because they all work into this one narrative. After the Riftgate comes, Darla comes through with the Chalice of Cube Chastity, which ends up in the jungle biome after it collapses due to the pressure of, I think, Mega came down. That's what we sort of associate from that season. Then Sloane is there. Sloane is there. Did Paradigm meet Sloane and oh my god, what's his name? Rex. What was his name? I forgot his name. Because if she's traveling around to these realities and she's picked these realities, I don't know why Paradigm wasn't part of his video more. But then you're thinking, if she got the refined kinetic ore and knew what zero fusion was and what she had to do, and she was in one of those realities when the 0 point relic grabbed the 0 point, so she's aware of what happened at the jungle biome. Where the jungle biome was, Paradigm is aware, and why Sloane is there, and if Relic's there. No, because to have the refined kinetic ore that brought Mega, which exposed the jungle, to then have Sloane do what she did, having a map which then entitled her to find which, you know, saw what was coming, the nothing or whatever, plus Kato Thorn. And then that revealed a time machine which allowed, in my opinion, Sloane to save the dying and decaying 0 point that was petrified. And then Jones travelled back, did what he did, travelled to the point with enough energy to kickstart the 0 point, and then form what we see now, Chapter 5. I'll explain that in 5 minutes. I think Troy Baker should play Jonesy. He looks pretty much... he looks like a bit of more of a harsher Jonesy, but I'm pretty sure he could do it. Simples, chat. Simples. Fortnite movie has to be animated. I think you need to clarify what animation would mean. No, what are we saying about that? because that's the most cohesive narrative to Chapter 4 and what Chapter 4 meant. Doesn't really matter who was the Nothing, who was the Shapeless Man. The narrative still prolonged, moved the story along. Now, real actors would hit differently. I mean, if they get the mood right and the world building correctly, and if it's live action, I feel like it has to be somewhat like look completely live action, not like the Minecraft stuff. I think the issue there is they're trying to do both at the same time. One or the other, it works. Why would John Wick be relevant though? Obviously, the main characters you want are the 7. Geno. Sloane. Jonesy. Obviously, you can have it. Yeah, to be fair, have a cameo. Obviously, John Wick wouldn't really be what? No, not John Wick. What's the... Probably should be more like the Reaper. He should probably play the Reaper. Yeah, no, I know what you're saying now. That's like a little nod, and he doesn't have to be a big part. Just like, oh, that's Keanu Reeves. Crazy. Keanu Reeves. What? What am I saying? I have no idea what I'm saying. I'm not going to play anyone in the movie. What do you mean? Who will play me? Oh, I don't know. I don't know. Guys, if you buy anything in Fortnite item shop, consider using credit code mrjayowhy in the Fortnite item shop. Hashtag epic partner. Oh, code Clint. Who knows? Mr. J-O-Y-I-I. Oh, wait. I can't even spell my own code. Silly. Silly me, silly you. There is nothing we can do. The cameos would be endless. Yeah, crazy. Oh, no. As I said, they should really focus on the story. Right. So I'm just thinking what to do. I need to record some background gameplay, but I can't do it on stream. It would just look awful. Right, I'm going to call it now, chat, because I'm tired of that. I'm not going to lie. I'm absolutely tired of that. Oh no, keep an eye on the Discord. I need to record some background gameplay, so I might shoot some of you. Just come and join me. Oh, October crew pack. I will be getting that. I haven't bought a crew pack in a few months, actually. Definitely going to be purchasing it for this. This looks sick. Sick, chat. But guys, thanks for being here. Hit the like button, subscribe. Until next time. Has been your boy, mrjayowhy.